All right, let's get into it, into the girls' room. Um, I like someone and it's making me feel like I need a roster to avoid me falling too hard, too fast. I think I need to diversify. Like, I feel like I'm understanding in real time why a roster is important. Um, let's get into it in the girls' room. So, I like this man that I'm halfway seeing, I guess. I don't know. I mean, we're just reconnecting, but it feels a little different than the first time we were introduced to each other. Very different circumstances than I would have written or, I don't know, said to have done, should be doing. Apparently, I pretty much was the driving force behind any dealings with this man. Like, I remember seeing him at an event, and the rest is history. And here we are. And so I was going back in my phone on like how long we were talking the first time. The first time was really just that first time last year that we went out and we talked for a little bit, and then he kind of disappeared, and I was like, yeah, whatever. Didn't really think too much of it. And I think that all happened within like a month or so. And now that we've been hanging out, I mean, we only saw each other twice, which is, I guess, kind of an improvement from last time. Like, last year, we went on one date, and then I never saw this man again, even though we kind of had loose plans to see each other. And this time, we hung out, and then a couple days later, we hung out again, and it just kind of felt like, very easy and intentional and nice and sweet. And it just like lasted a long time. So the first time he came over pretty early, and we spent so much time together. And I wanted to see him shortly after, and a couple days went by, and at first I was like, okay, so I'm not gonna see you, totally fine, cool, for the best, because you're dead to me. Already getting myself ready, because like, whatever, this is me kind of like shooting my shot, I guess, throwing spaghetti on the walls, don't really care which way it goes. And I think in the early stages it doesn't really matter anyways. But then we hung out a few days after. He came over a little later, helped bring my Christmas tree up, and I made him lamb. Kinda. Like, I really just threw it in the oven and put a little salt and pepper on it, but it was pretty good. It was pretty good. And I'm like, what am I doing? Cooking for this man already? Something is crazy. Did that. Didn't really do too much. We really just kind of hung out here. And then I decided, let's go on a walk. Like, I want to be active. I don't want to just be in the house. And so, especially because like I also have a roommate, I want to be kind of mindful of that. But even still, I'm like, I want to experience different things with you, even if it is just like on my roof. So, and it's December, it's cold. I mean, it's LA, so it's not like, sub-zero or even sub-40, but it's nighttime, we're on the roof, and we were there for like maybe an hour. I wasn't keeping track of time, but It was too long. I should have never even been on the roof. Like, I don't even know what I was doing because now I'm all sinusy. So the day after that, I'm going to work. I'm tired because he leaves at like 2 in the morning, and I'm like, ugh, again. And this is Sunday. No, this is Monday. He came over on Monday, on a work day, on a school day, and he leaves. I mean, maybe he left at like midnight, but he left late, and that's partly because of me too, because I get distracted and I know myself, which is what I've been saying. It's like when I start introducing men or like a man, like especially someone that might be a little consistent into my life, then everything else almost goes out the window. And I'm like, no, I still have things I need to do and I need to go to bed. And I was saying that, and he's so respectful, and he's like, okay, cool. And I'm like, no, yes, leave. And he leaves, and then the next day at work, I'm like kind of a zombie. Like, it's clear, like I just haven't really been sleeping super well, and it didn't help that he left late. But still, I thought, it's fine. I'll at least get 6 hours. Like, it's whatever. It's the first day. And yeah, at work, I was like, it's so bright in here. I had to put my glasses on inside for a little bit, but it was hard because I can't see because I have prescription glasses and my sunglasses are not prescription. So I'm like looking at my coworkers and I'm like, does it look crazy if I wear my sunnies inside? And they're like, well, you either look hungover or like you're on opioids. Opioids? Okay, Rob. Harsh, but yeah, I was just kind of like dragging it, and I'm sitting at the office like on my desk like half sleep. And I'm like, okay, I need to go home. And luckily I was able to leave pretty early. Like, last meeting was done by 3, so I went home and kind of just like chilled out, went to sleep, knew I needed to get some sleep, but still for some reason my body is just like kind of being allergic to sleep, like good sleep, hitting that good REM cycle, hitting that like deep sleep zone. So I'm trying to figure that out, but I don't know what it is. So I wake up on Wednesday and I'm shot. I'm done. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm sick. Like, there's no way around it. Like, I got a cold, and it's all my doing because I want to be on the roof at midnight. For what? For a boy? Just to switch it up and not be like in the apartment. It's like, what are you going to do? It's a school night. Where can we go? And we could have done things, I'm sure, but I was just like, let's just go on the roof. Let's take a walk. And he's like, okay, fine, all bundled up. And I actually had like, sweats and a jacket and everything on, but still, it's just too much exposure, and I probably haven't been getting the best sleep anyways. I don't know why. I have to figure that out. Because I don't feel stressed or anything, but whatever. And I did not go to work. Like, that to me is kind of crazy that, I mean, I can't blame this boy for me missing work because it's also just the season that people are getting sick and it's been going around. But yeah, I had to actually tap out. Like, I didn't do anything on Wednesday. I text my boss, I'm not coming in. There wasn't I'm gonna try to work from home. No, I cannot. But yeah, all in all, got sick, getting over this little cold. And, he feels bad, kinda, I guess, but it's also not his fault. It's like, oh my God, you want me to bring something? I'm like, no, I don't want you to come over at all. Because when you come over, I want to be out. I want to hang out with you and I want to be outside. And now I'm kind of like all in a little bit, which I feel like is dangerous because I have plans. Like, it's grind mode still. It's still joy season. And I don't have time to get sick. And I don't have time to just be playing around with these boys. Like, I think if it was multiple boys, then I could, separate my time properly and not really care too much about any of them. But because it's really just him that I'm kind of interested in, because any other person that I had in my mind, I'm like, nah, no. You really haven't been showing up, or not even showing up. It's just like, I don't know, he just feels different. He just feels like I like him and he likes me, and I am kind of nervous because I don't want to step into something just because it feels good. Like, I still want to be strategic, and I still want to make a decision as if I have a surplus, because we all have options. Like, him being in the picture now makes me feel like, okay, I can kind of just be myself with anyone else. Like, it doesn't really matter in this weird way. Like, I'm not tripping regardless because I have somebody that I actually like. I don't know if that makes sense, but I don't know. Like, I definitely feel a little nervous in moments because I want to make sure that it is real and authentic. I do really like him. I do like talking to him. I do like spending time with him and getting to know him. But as he said, like, baby steps. And I'm so happy he said that. And I'm so happy that he's just seems very genuine and taking his time. He seems to really respect me, which is really nice. And I don't feel like he's playing games. Like, I feel like we have like this sixth sense. Maybe it's a woman thing. I feel like everyone has that intuition when you know somebody's just kind of playing you or running game a little bit, where you're just like, okay, I don't want to live in this gray area, like what's going on. I can't ask what's going on. But with him, it's like I'm still taking it slow and I'm still going with the flow, but I'm being open. And I'm like, hey, I like you. That's that. Like, baby steps is great because I want to actually get to know you, and I don't want to just jump in because, like, oh, okay, you're mine now. Like, no, because I don't want you to look at me like your possession. He knows that I want to be married, that I want kids, that I'm not moving in with anybody until I get married, that I'm not doing certain things. And I don't think that I've been saying that in any pressure inducing way, because he's kind of giving me the same energy back where it's like, yeah, and you shouldn't, and you don't. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. So he's like patting me on the back as I'm saying these things with conviction and authority. And I'm like, okay, I like that. And he's not like anti-marriage, which I feel like a lot of these men are. And I'm not saying I want to marry anybody tomorrow. But you shouldn't be allergic to the word. So that's really nice. He is a little younger than me, so a little cougar. No, but I feel like he's very like tender, and it's interesting just being on this like therapy session journey with myself and seeing the progression. Who knows, maybe I am recording my love story, hopefully, whoever it may be with. But he is prompting me to think, okay, do I need a roster? Because I want to make sure that anyone I end up with is somebody that I've chosen because I've experienced what I need to experience. I don't want to just choose the first person or the person right now that's giving me what I want and saying what I want. Like, I kind of want to know that whoever he is right, because I've tried the different options and I'm like, you know what? I've had my experiences and this is based off of experience that I'm choosing you, because I know what's out there and I know what I want. And it's funny to be with him. I'm realizing, you know what? I think I do know what I want. And I've told him that too, and I haven't like really laid everything out. Like, I want somebody that's this and that and that. But there's certain things that he says, and I'm like, I like the way you think. And it's not like I haven't liked that from other people. So I'm still trying to weigh what he says against people that I've experienced in the past or present. Like, okay, how did I like this experience with this guy? Does it measure up to this? It's like, no, this guy is better. I like him. And so, like, so far, he has hit it out the park. Still very new, still very much getting to know each other, but I love that we are, like, making plans, like, future plans, kind of like, we're gonna go do this, we're gonna do that. Now, I'm a person of action, so at a certain point it's like, all right, when are we doing it? What is the plan? But I just don't even feel any ounce of doubt that these things are going to happen unless he is in trouble. Then I'm like, okay, so we're not seeing that movie, huh? But right now I'm like, no, if we're planning on seeing something, we're going to see it. It's just, when do you want to go? And like, we talk pretty frequently, and I'm like, okay, it just has to surpass that month mark that we had last year. It's kind of surpassed just seeing each other physically, which is great, but can we make it to more than a month? If not, hey, look, totally fine, no pressure. I don't want to put too much weight on it, but I do like that I like him and that he likes me. This is my sleepy time tea, because I have not been able, I feel like when you're sick, you have to sleep. That's literally the answer. And since I really have not been able to get good sleep for whatever reason, I'm like, I'm trying brews and everything. I'm like, gonna take this tea, I'll take some Theraflu nighttime. It's just so much mucus that I need to drain. All because of a boy. All because I like the boy. Because if he was in the picture, I would have been in the bed. I would have been asleep. I wouldn't have been on the roof at midnight. That's stupid. But I guess I'm stupid. Oh. This is what, like, liking a boy does, which is why you need a roster, because who wants to be stupid all the time? I don't have time to be stupid. I actually need to grind, but I'm over here thinking, actually, thankfully, I'm not so, like, giddy and starry-eyed and thinking about him all the time, because I already feel like we're surpassing that stage just because it's reality. Like, I don't feel like I have a crush on him because I'm getting information about him, and I am, starting to like him as a person and what I'm finding out. And I do still like get giddy when I'm on the phone with him, and still have those moments where I'm like, I'm practically talking in the bathtub. I'm like, how did I make it in here? I'm over here being stupid cupcaking on the phone. I'm like, silly me. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. And I don't know, it's like part of me feels like I just don't want to go too fast. And that's not even just physically fast, like calling him every day, whatever. Like, I don't really care too much about that. I think it's okay to communicate as often as you want, like multiple times a day, every day. I don't know. We'll see. But I don't want my emotions to get, I don't want my heart to be broken for nothing. I really don't want it to be broken at all. And I want to guard my heart. Like one of my favorite coworkers was telling me, it's like, just protect your heart. Like, I know. And I feel like I usually run from vulnerability so easy. So I'm constantly like, gotta be one step ahead, gotta have the upper hand. And I don't really want that with him. Like, it's been so easy and effortless to just wall. There is no wall that I even have to tear down. Like, it's just not even there. And I'm like, what is going on? Okay, cool, great. But is that good? Is that great? Because like, and I actually kind of don't want a roster because I like him, and I feel like I don't want to dilute that. And it almost feels like a betrayal. And I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I don't think that I've necessarily felt like that recently, where, you know, a roster would be betrayal, but I also historically haven't really had someone in my life that I felt like really warranted that, like, solo attention 100%, like I feel like he does. So we talked about cheating, and I forget how it came up. We were watching TV, and I just remember how the conversation started. You're like eating some candy. We share like the same kind of favorite candy, that's super sugary nonsense. And he got serious and was like, okay, I need you to look at me when I say this. Such a statement too that I do not agree with, but he said all men cheat. And I was just like, no, not you, don't say that to me. All men cheat, and that's a that. And I said, no, I will never accept that. And so we debated a little bit on it, because that's something that I don't like when people say, because it's not fair. It's like, oh, women cheat in different ways. And, you know, he was kind of talking about too how there are a lot of different levels of cheating. And so, like, you look at somebody, when you're with somebody else, you're cheating. And I'm like, okay. Well, I'd be a cheater. I didn't say that. And I probably wouldn't if that was the measurement of cheating. But we definitely have to have another conversation about that. We don't have to now because we're not together. So it's just like, whatever. Even though I feel like we kind of are together. So, but I'm not even going to ask him no questions. I don't want certain answers to him. I'm not going to ask you if you're, I don't care. You're doing something on the side, which is not the side because like we're not a thing. But, yeah, just keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. We don't need to address it. Don't let me find out nothing. And maybe that's actually what started it, because we were watching something or listening to something talking about how if somebody, like I was saying, if somebody ever made the stupid mistake of cheating on me, you better not let me find out, because it's going to be a problem. Like, I don't know what the problem is going to be, but you're dead to me, obviously. Like, there's no coming back. No. And we were going back and forth a little bit on that, and he kind of like rectified his position a little bit with all men cheat, because I was saying it really just takes discipline. You have to be disciplined every single day to go outside of your instincts. And that's really what his argument was. It's like it's in your instinct to hunt pretty much, and to cheat and to go after things, and just is like, you know, guys will just need to have sex real quick because the girl's away. And it's like, okay, cool. I don't love this conversation, but I get it and I respect it, and thank you for being honest. Like, I can't fault you. again, don't ever let me find out, like, never, because you're just gonna fumble the biggest bag you've ever had. And so he was saying that's why I just stay single. And I'm like, okay, it's good. You don't want to cheat, which is why you don't want to commit. I wonder if that's why other men are so scared of commitment. And it's crazy because even through all these conversations about things that he's being open and honest about, nothing is phasing me. Nothing's like scaring me off, like, oh, checking this off the list. You don't want to be in a relationship. You think me all cheap. Like, I don't even care about none of that because we're taking it easy. I'm getting to know you. I'm getting to know your brain, how you think, how you operate, and there are no flags for me still. It's not like you're over here just saying sweet nothings and the next day you're doing something different. And I don't know, I like that there is no commitment. It's really just like, let's just get to know each other and fill it out. Like, we clearly enjoy each other's company. That's great. None of the things that he has said at all has made me feel like, oh, I need to get a roster because he's about to act up. I actually kind of think the opposite. I feel like he's going to realize that I am the one, not the two. Honestly, I kind of feel like that about myself, and in moments I'm like, is he just stroking my ego? And I like him because he really likes me, and he's like telling me things that I know about myself that I want other people to see in me. That was a real moment because that was a real thought. And I really do feel like other men in the past and even present, like, have really just been so oblivious to how amazing I am. You know, and I told him the other day, I'm like, I want to show up the way Kanye shows up. I want to love me, and I kind of am like this. The way Kanye loves Kanye. Like, I think I'm freaking awesome. And I don't think that that is an exaggeration. I don't think that's conceit. It may be, maybe I'm conceited, you know? But I feel like you have to love yourself. You gotta be confident, and I don't want to ever feel like he's giving me a validation that I need. Like, I don't need him to validate me. I like it. I absolutely like it, but with or without him saying it and expressing it and kind of like showing it, I know that I'm a rock star, and it's just nice to finally have somebody notice that. I'm like, dang, you think I'm what? That's great. You're right. I am all of those things, and it's nice to hear it. It's nice. But I'm also not perfect, and I told him, like, I don't want him to think I'm this perfect girl. He told me he doesn't. Like, I don't think you're perfect. I'm like, good. But I also want to make sure that we both see each other in a proper light and not in this, like, hazy fantasy dream type of state. Because there are moments where it's like, okay, I feel like you haven't really experienced someone like me, and I haven't really experienced someone like you. So I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing. Like, would we choose each other if we weren't so different than what we had both experienced in the past? Like, would I still choose you if I had other views? You know, like, obviously you're your own individual, but is it the different lifestyle that you have that I know nothing about, and I've never experienced something that pushes my interest in you farther? Or am I just really interested in you? Like, do I like you for you? Obviously time will tell. I just don't want this situation to be another thing that maybe I put in my head, but of, you know, you're this good girl that I haven't really experienced, and you got your head on right, and like, I don't know, it's weird because it's like technically those are good things, but also you I've been in experiences where these guys just put me on this good girl pedestal, and I'm like, I've made tons of mistakes. Like I don't wear them on my sleeves. I'm not out here just running around talking about all my mistakes in my past. And maybe I should. Maybe I should just walk in the door and say, I've done this, and that, and now you decide. But, my energy right now is good girl, I guess. Is just like, I'm honest for sure, and I'm happy, I'm energetic, I'm as honest and real as I can be. But I don't want there to be a situation where the veil comes undone and it's like, oh, you're not the girl I thought you were. Because that has happened semi-recently, and it's like, well, I don't know what you thought, but it's not fair to have these unrealistic expectations of me and then just shoot me down like that. Like, I am a multifaceted person. I'm, so many things. And so I just get kind of worried that that can happen again, and I don't want that to happen. And so I'm like, okay, if I don't know if this is me like already starting to pull away, because I kind of felt that. Like, there were moments where he was saying things to me and I was like, uh-oh, something's happening. And I'm like, I feel like I might need to push him away. And I'm like, no, don't do that. But I don't know. Like, I don't want to get hurt. And I'm doing all this myself. Like, I don't have a therapist. Do I need one? I don't know. The girls' room seems good. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Until next time, I will see you in the girls' room.